Hi, Hugh Taylor here, coming at you on another Sunday morning from my messy home office with a topic that comes up in a fair amount of conversations I have with people, which is how do you actually do public relations? And it's a kind of a tricky question because the simple answer, which is you hire an agency and let them do it, is really not a complete answer. It's very important, I think, for people to understand what's involved and what they need to do and what they need to know to have a good experience with PR and get what they want out of it from a business perspective. So uh, we're going to go over a couple things. We're going to briefly go over a topic that I've done a number of times in the last few weeks, which is what is PR, just to understand what it is, that's a starting point, and then talk about how you actually do it. And one of the main points I want to emphasize is that doing PR right is about aligning public relations to business objectives. Public relations must serve business objectives, or else, first of all, you won't know if it's being successful, and second of all, it won't do what you need it to do, and you will have wasted your money. And that includes understanding your responsibility when you hire an agency. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to conclude with a couple of maybe to-dos that you can get busy with. So just briefly, what is public relations? As we said before, this is kind of a technical definition, but it's useful. It's the act of influencing public opinion by influencing the media. Okay, the media like, online news channels, cable television, radio, people who we trust to give us the news and information, influencing them to say something good about you and your business. It also is a profession. Okay, that there are people like me and big firms as well that inform the press of newsworthy stories, and PR people also try and influence the reporting of stories. These are all important factors to understand when you're thinking about how to do public relations. Another question that I like to ask, and people may wonder, why am I asking this question? Because I'm in the PR business. I get paid to do PR. But I think the first question you have to ask yourself is, do you actually need PR? Okay, maybe. There's a false idea, in my opinion, false, that you have to do PR no matter what. It's got to be part of your budget. Okay, I love that. Spend money with me, but not always, because there's levels of public relations. How much do you need, and what can you really accomplish? So, for example, if social proof, like having a story about your business in the newspaper, will help you achieve sales and marketing goals, then yes, PR will help you. If press coverage will help build your brand, yes, then PR will help you. And what I want you to think about here is, sure, press coverage will help you build your brand, always, right? But to what extent, right? To what extent will a news article or a couple of segments on the news really help your brand? Is it going to be seen? Are people really going to notice or care? These are questions to ask, and which honestly I don't think you're going to get asked by a PR firm. I think they're either going to just want to get the business, or they're going to assume that you already know what you want. Okay, keep that in mind. Alternatively, and this is another side of PR, is protecting your brand from bad press coverage. Okay, there's a whole other side to PR. I mean, I tend to focus on corporate PR, which is like trying to get your name out there. But as we say, there's two kinds of PR firms: one to get your name in the paper, and one to keep your name out of the paper. Right? If bad coverage could damage your brand, you may need a PR firm, but a different kind of PR firm with a different plan. Just something to keep in mind. PR people can protect your reputation as well as build your reputation. The follow-on questions that come from this are, how much do you need this, right? How much do you really want to spend on this? Do you need sort of like a basic, just we have a PR thing going just to get basic stuff, or do we need a heavy commitment to PR? Is PR really going to make a big difference? And then coupled with that is a question of, is getting coverage a realistic goal? And in this, we get to an issue that I think is not often considered enough, which is public relations is competitive just like any other aspect of sales and marketing. So if you are a commodity, or if you're an undifferentiated player in a large competitive industry, it may be very hard to get any press coverage, and press coverage may not really help you that much. You know what I mean? Let's say you sell orange juice in New York City. Okay, there's 25,000 companies selling orange juice in New York City. You could get an article in the New York Times saying you're the best orange juice in New York City. That's not going to help you. I mean, maybe a couple extra people say, oh, you're the people in the paper, I'll buy an orange juice from you. But realistically, it's not going to help. There are a lot of examples of this. Will PR help, and how much is it worth? Those are questions to ask. Now let's get down to how we actually do PR. Now that we're halfway through the video, we'll get to what you actually promised to do in the beginning. Overview. Understand your business objectives. Then determine how media coverage will help achieve those business objectives. From that, develop a public relations plan, and then execute the public relations plan and measure accomplishments as they relate to business goals. In this way, PR is like any other marketing process. It should have an objective and a measurement to establish how well it worked. Okay, it's like any other, and hopefully you're doing this. Professional marketing people usually, when they set up a campaign, they also set up how they're going to track its success. Because if it didn't work, and that happens sometimes, then they don't repeat it. If it worked, they want to know how much it helped. Okay, so for example, if your business goal is to establish competitive differentiation in the market, like saying you are the best orange juice in New York City, then an article in the newspaper could help you further that communications goal, and which supports your competitive goal. Now, let's go through some examples of aligning PR to business objectives. This is just 3 examples, but maybe they'll help you think about what this really looks like. So let's say you have a business objective of brand differentiation, like we were mentioning. That should be associated with a public relations task. That would be get media coverage that lands the brand message. Now, this may seem really obvious, but it is not obvious to everyone because I hear this every day. People come in firing off broadly. Oh, I need some PR done. I need a press release. Why? What are you trying to accomplish? Okay, think about it. Let's say your goal in the second case is grow e-commerce revenue with increased web traffic. Well, then your task in PR might be to do press release distribution that helps with search engine optimization. You have a goal, you have a way to achieve the goal. Okay, the press release distribution won't do everything, but it will help, at least in my experience, it will help with your search engine and therefore help drive traffic for your e-commerce. Very different from brand differentiation. This may have nothing to do with your brand. This is about getting traffic, right? Here's another case. The third example is more of like a bigger company. Get better at closing complex sales transactions. I do this a lot in my work. I work with companies that, it takes them a year to sell their product, and when they sell it, it's a $8 million deal. So it's a big deal. It takes a lot of work, a lot of salespeople on the phone and meetings and this and that. So the goal there might be to support those salespeople, get media coverage that helps account teams in the sales process. This is also known as air cover, meaning you have an account team, they're trying to sell an account, give them some articles they can show to the account. Hey, look, here's some articles in trade publications, really validate that we're the best, or we're good at this, or we're better than that. That's a goal of public relations. Again, that's not a brand story. This might mean I'll give you an example. So I work with a company that does like water purification systems, right? So I'm working on getting them articles in publications, in trade publications that cover water purification. Okay, it's not the New York Times. And honestly, an article in the New York Times isn't really going to help them that much. They need an article from, like Water Purification Journal. Okay, I just made that up. But like that's going to help them in their sales process if sales is their objective. Now, let's come to the other aspect of this, which is when you work with an agency. One thing to keep in mind, and this is not a knock on agencies, paying a monthly retainer does not guarantee that PR will align with your business objectives. The PR firm may help you figure this out, but they also may not. They may assume that you already know what you need. I would say you're responsible for directing the agency. You're responsible for understanding how PR fits into your business plan. And I will tell you, as someone who's been on the client side, I've had experiences where, because I didn't really know what I was doing, the agency didn't know what they were doing either. They just kind of started doing stuff and getting stories published in publications that really didn't mean anything to us. So, for example, I was working at a startup software company, and this PR firm got us an article in the local business journal, right? They got us an article in a magazine that was like sort of, for ribbon cuttings for car dealerships and stuff. Completely useless, right? But they were still getting $15,000 a month. So I learned kind of the hard way that you have to tell the agency what you need. And if they can't deliver it, they're not the right agency. Okay? This is an important thing to understand also. Anyway, so here's some to-dos. Think about this. Write down your business objectives. Hopefully you've already done that, but maybe you haven't. Map them to public relations where it's relevant, and some objectives may not be, like you can't accomplish everything with PR. Collaborate with your PR person or agency to determine how they will help you achieve your business objectives. And then as part of that process also, I would suggest collaborate with sales and marketing teams to make sure the PR supports their plans and goals. There should be alignment. This is a very good word here, alignment. If the sales and marketing teams think that a certain kind of media coverage will help, then that's what you should try and get for them. Now, of course, you may not agree with them. That's why you have discussions, right? You may say, I don't think I can get that for you, or maybe something else would work better, and so forth. Those are just some thoughts on this for you. If you want to learn more about this, I cover some of these issues in my free ebook available at the link below. Stop Being Invisible gets into the ABCs of pitching the media, has some press release examples and step-by-step guidance on executing public relations strategies, some of the stuff we talked about in this video. It's available to you for free at the link below. It also comes with a special offer. Anyway, we can help. We'd love to work with you. commsfactory.net. There's links below if you want to make a meeting to talk to me in person. And special offers you can take advantage of to get started with our services. So thanks for listening.